Don't be lazy and just rely on spirit guides, y'all. What's going on? Welcome to Spirit School. Um, if you are listening or watching this video, because I'm recording a video at the same time, and you're coming from my TikTok, my Spirit School over there, thank you so much for joining me. So normally I do hour episodes, maybe sometimes longer depending on what's coming in. But I am being diligent and going to cap these episodes at 30 to 45 minutes, okay? Which should be plenty. It saves me room to share more content with y'all, right? So if you didn't come from TikTok, my Spirit School there, and you're just listening, clicking play, thank you as well. So spirit guides, there's been a lot of, what can I say? A lot of different narratives when it comes to spirit guides, their purpose. What do you call on them for? What are they here for? And I want to be as honest as I can be. Remember, take or leave it, whatever I say. You don't have to believe or listen to anything I say. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But I feel like it would. It will. Excuse me. Confirmation. Spirit guides are just around as literally guides. They're not like doers, if that makes any sense. The best analogy I can use is, let's say you are the star athlete of your team. Let's say you are the superstar in your basketball team. Okay? You're the superstar. Let's say this is life, that you're the superstar of. It's your life. Obviously, you can't play the game without a team, a supporting team. Some team members have certain roles and positions they play in. Some team members are better than the other. But when it comes to spirit, it's not about like better or worse, you suck. Not like how it is here on 3D or the human mind, the way we think of it as. It's more just who is more elevated within their soul, their spirit, their consciousness to assist for certain matters throughout life. And that's what you can pretty much compare a spirit team to. So they'll help you win this championship, right? But you also have to play in the game too, this game called life. They can't just be the only ones flinging around the ball, trying to make the shots or blocking for you or what have you, right? They're going to pass the ball to you and you're going to have to make the shots. You're the superstar. It's your show. Now, whether you decide to take the shot, that's on you. Just like in life. I'm getting chills. They're saying great analogy. The way that they pass you the ball, right? It's your choice whether you want to take a shot from the 3-point line or not. You know what I'm saying? Right? Or you could pass on it, but then you might pass it to somebody else or take a different position, right? And then miss the shot versus taking the first shot, which would have had the ball go into the basket. You know what I'm saying? So you could compare the blueprint of life that way because your life is mapped out before you incarnate here. And you incarnate with the team depending on how big this mission is and what your purpose is. You come here with a team of people. They switch out throughout your entire life depending on where you are on your journey, on your soul's blueprint for this lifetime. And so they are merely here to help you, but you can't just rely on them for everything. because you have it all within you. It's the same thing down here as it is up there in terms of connecting within, finding the value, finding your self-worth, finding the confidence within you to know that you're all you need. And that might sound very selfish to people, but it's not. Because you knowing your needs and what you want out of life and what you deserve and what you don't want in your life is you standing in your true authenticity, in your true energetic blueprint, while at the same time working on the things, patterns, behaviors, removing yourself from situations you know are not making you happy, fulfilled, or good for you. These are all catalysts for spiritual awakenings, but to get you back to your true core essence, before the distractions, before the noise, before the situations, the game of life, y'all. If you start looking at it that way, it gives you a different outlook on how to navigate life. Now, that is not to say you should be spiritual bypassing. Like, all right, I'm going to deal with this with another lifetime, or this shit ain't real anyway. No. You have to take accountability for everything that goes on in your life, whether you see it as a negative or a positive. There are lessons to be learned in everything. With that being said, when you start to look for outside resources, outside validations, and I had to learn this along the way too. When you start to look for something else other than you for the answer, even your spirit guides, you're doing the same thing. As deeply connected as you feel you are, or you are, to your spirit guides. Some of y'all might be spiritually gifted that you connect with your spirit guides, but to lean on them for every answer throughout life, that's not what they're here to do. And if they are doing that for you, then those are not truly spirit guides of the light. So you have to be very discerning of who you're getting guidance from, because there are spirits, getting chills. There are spirits who mask as spirit guides of the light. Some of them are not good spirits. Some of them have nefarious agendas. Some of them are, what do you call those? Not playful. Are mischievous energies, guides that just like to, play with you. And this is why even though you use them as guides, you still end up back at square one. Like, there's no growth. If you don't see any growth spiritually, that's one. From if you're connecting with spirit guides, you know for sure that you are not connecting to your true guides. So you also have to be discerning if you call on your spirit guides, knowing and learning how to decipher between who's really giving you guidance and who is really just trying to run you for a loop. The spirituality thing is no joke, y'all. A lot of people be calling in entities and spirit guides and all of that, like not knowing what they're calling in. So it's very important you use the art of discernment. Connect from your heart, connect from your light within. And if you're going to call on your spirit guides, just always make sure you're calling on guides of the purest form of light. And going back to what I was saying about, look, you having them run your life versus you. First off, they're not even allowed to guide you in a way. I'm not talking about if they're negative or positive. I'm talking about just what their role here is. They can't guide you in a way where it go against your free will. That is a universal law that cannot be broken, period. In this universe, in the higher dimensions, your choice of free will. It cannot, well, as you're incarnating here, I can't say I know about the higher dimensions. I will say in the higher dimensions, there's no such thing as free will because you already know all that is. You know what I'm saying? So there's no reason to choose between what you would call, I would up there opposite of what you would call a positive experience is. You know, because your consciousness, your being is super ascended to know. This is the beauty of ascending. This is the beauty of learning your soul lessons. Every time you learn your soul lessons, y'all, boop, you go up another level up there. You keep on rising and rising and rising and rising. The goal is to get back to source frequency. That's where we all came from. We're all fragments of source frequency. All having an experience right now. So if you don't start taking, while you're here on Gaia, taking ownership of your life and your decisions and not just relying on spirit to do it, you'll come out a lot stronger, a lot wiser. Your spiritual gifts will be that much more spot on. And you would have elevated your soul spiritually. And on it, you know, the human experience, this is where a lot of people, they become codependent or need something like having an amazing job or having a lot of money or having the white picket fence or having, you know, the whole family, kids, and, you know, the cars, the pool, or having, you know, all these things to validate who they are, that they are defined by physical manifestations. When a lot of people who have all this already, a lot of them have not worked to themselves or healed themselves. You know, we can talk about spirituality out the ass, y'all, or ETs and cosmic origins and Akashic records and galactic wars and all that here at my spirit school, which I do. But, you know, today I was reflecting and I was listening to a podcast. Oh God, what was her name? I can't remember, but I was listening to her and it really brought me back to, made me more grounded. And it made me remember for myself too, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's great to know about your ancient history and cosmic knowledge, but it's gonna sound mad boring, y'all, because, you know, people paint spirituality as a super magical, romanticizing what it is, when in actuality, it's all about coming back to yourself, being at peace within. being a better individual for yourself and for those around you. It's really what it's about, y'all. And my goal is honestly to really hone this in, reel this back in for everyone that's on their spiritual awakening journey, that to not lose sight of what this really is all about here. Yes, you're going to learn about all these things along the way that I mentioned. That is not why you're here. Let me remind you, you are here to learn these soul lessons, to assist with Gaia, whatever your purpose is here, to elevate your soul. This is why you're here. You already know all this other information. So don't get too sucked in to the excitement of learning these things. And there's nothing wrong about, being intrigued or interested. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happened. I mean, this is part of the journey. Just know that you have fully awakened and have come into alignment within yourself. When you get to a point where when you hear someone share a story, or you come across a video, or you read something, whatever, right, that's about cosmic knowledge and our truths and all these things, you're like, okay, if you don't already know it. And you go about your day and you continue to make sure your life is bringing you happiness and peace. That is what spirituality is, y'all. That is what being Zen is. I call myself Professor Zen Jen, not only because it rhymes, which is fire. But for me, being Zen isn't about sitting by a koi fish pond under a maple tree or something, even though they're beautiful, or a cherry blossom tree, meditating till morning to night, which is also fantastic. And, being Zen, walking around in robes and shit like that. Nah, being Zen is being whole within yourself. Being at peace, standing in your truth, seeing the broader picture when it comes to life, having compassion, understanding the importance of energy and integrity while you're here as a soul. That is what being Zen is about. And, I mentioned the guides thing because, I was connecting with Yeshua, the TikTok Spirit School video. And this is why I'm bringing it up. Yeshua is one of my guides. And that might sound, what? How could that be? That's impossible. Or, wow, how's it with Yeshua? Let me tell you something. I just feel his energy. This is how I knew, y'all, how I knew that spirituality isn't as glamorous as humans think it is. Naturally, humans will feel this way because, people have awakened, people are ascending. So again, totally empathetic and sympathetic to this process because I've been there. I'm just explaining to y'all, what it is at the end of it, at the end of the yellow brick road, so to speak, or the rainbow. Okay. I already connected with them. I told them they were going to come through. So the reason why, I knew that spirituality wasn't all this like, you know, glitter and gold type shit. Two reasons. One, because I went through my own spiritual awakening and to my enlightenment to come to this realization through alignment. And also my baby Patch. Y'all don't know Patch. Just a reminder, my cat Patch. She's in the angelic realm. She's one of my guides. We've been together since I was incarnate and she was incarnate ever. So we go way the fuck back. Okay. So I remember I was connecting with her. This is before I really was tapping into my spiritual gifts like that, because I was surrounded by a lot of fucking noise and distractions and shit bringing me down. Ears ringing right now. So I was working with the animal communicator to connect with her. And so I'd have questions for the animal communicator to ask Patch. This is when Patch already passed. And when I asked her, I'm like, sorry, yeah. Sure, I'm not laughing. He's giggled like laughing too because, they're both here. But I was like, can I connect with Yeshua, Patch? And the way that she responded, because the animal communicator was also taking on her personality, right? Patch was like, yeah, if you want to. Just like that. Very regular. It wasn't like, what I thought it would be like, Yeshua. And this is not to take away from Yeshua's light. He knows that. Again, if you're listening to me, you'll understand my intent and where I'm going with this. Okay? Remove religion. This has nothing to do with Christianity, Catholicism, anything like that. First off, I am not subscribed to any religion. But I do know that Yeshua is real. How do I know that? Because I've received visitations from him and I'm not Christian or Catholic. I wasn't raised to be anything. Honestly, well, I mean, when I was younger, my mom would make us pray to Buddha. But it wasn't like I thought Buddha was my religion or God, if that makes any sense. For me, well, as a kid, I can't speak to, my other family members. But for me, when I was doing it, I was just connecting with spirit. So when I started getting visits from Yeshua, out of nowhere, this is when I knew. I was like, oh, okay. It was a journey. I'm just, I'm one day in the future, I will share those visitations, but right now it's not the time. What happened in those visitations? But like I said, this is how I know Yeshua is real. And also Buddha is real too. They're both ascended masters. I think I said this in another episode. Forgive me if I didn't. If I did, I don't know. I don't remember. Ascended masters are beings who've had incarnations here on Gaia. Many. But they've graduated from Earth School. They've cleared karma. They've learned everything they needed to learn with their soul lessons. From their soul lessons here. They've passed everything. Ascension, okay? Ascended masters. They graduated to a point where they can now be on the other side with source frequency in the higher dimensions to be a guide for Gaia, for souls that incarnate on Gaia. Yeshua is purely a guide for beings on Gaia. So when you hear the term Christ consciousness and Christos energy, it's because Yeshua is pretty much, in layman's term, the Dandada of Gaia. You know what I'm saying? And he's ascended so high that his frequency is of that pure light frequency, source frequency. That's why he was able to do all the things he was able to do here. Specifically, energy heal on site and share the message and wisdom. He went over to, did I talk about this already, y'all? I don't remember. If not, I'm letting you know the story. He traveled to India, Egypt, to enlighten himself and learn. His teachings come from Buddhism. So, oh God, I didn't want to get into this. Yeah, I'll make a different episode about Yeshua. By the way, great personality. It's the only thing I'm going to say about, because I'm going to save it for the episode. He has a very lively personality. He's very charismatic, okay? And, people, there's this perception that he was this very reserved person. He was a firecracker. Spoke how he felt. Spoke against the injustices at that time. He was a truth speaker during his time, y'all. On top of helping people on their spiritual awakening journey, or pushing them, guiding them on their awakening journey. So this is all about spirit guides, okay, y'all? But I'm also going back to Buddha as well, because I came across a video, a show I was watching. They were talking about Buddhism, because even though I was, I guess, raised Buddhist, I did not know anything about the teachings. So the way Buddhism is taught, correct me if I'm wrong, from what I remember, Buddha is not revered as a god. Buddha is known as a human being, soul incarnate here, that attained enlightenment. How did he attain that enlightenment? Through his own spiritual awakening journey. His time spent with the divine and going within. This is how Yeshua learned about the teachings of enlightenment. Shadow work. Connecting with your soul, your spirit. He learned that through Buddhism. And went back home to pass on this knowledge to other people. But do you see the commonality here, y'all? It is all about going within. My ears are ringing, you guys. I'm trying to talk through it. This is all about taking the microscope, looking at yourself underneath it, being honest with yourself, and really doing the work to deprogram what you were forced to learn, what you were forced to take on as a reality from the environments you were in. You know that phrase, you are a product of your environment. Yes, but you don't have to be the end result of your environment. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what's right for you. And not only is it about going within and making changes in your life, patterns, behaviors, people, places, and things, but it's also trusting this. For anyone that's listening, I'm pointing to your heart. And this, I'm pointing to the third eye. It's about moving. One more thing. Also, here I'm touching my crown, which is above crown chakra, energy center right above my head. It's about making choices that are aligned with your soul. And you also want to make sure that these so-called choices you make, y'all, are not coming from an imbalanced, unhealed space. Because you're just creating a snowball effect of what was or is going on within you. The more you continue to work on yourself, the more you continue to tap within, the louder your soul becomes. I'm seeing right now. Okay, I don't know why I'm seeing one of those bull horns. You know what I'm talking about, right? You put a cap on that bullhorn, right? Someone could be screaming through the bullhorn, but you can't hear it because there's something covering, right? The mic that it's coming out of. You can't hear shit. Someone's screaming, you hear like muffled in the background, right? But you can't really hear it. Think of that as your soul. Think of the cover as everything you've been through in life. Situations, people, places, things that have caused some sort of trauma within you, big or small, that took away from your true core essence of who you really are inside. Whether it changed you to make you into something you really never were, whether it made you less confident, whether, it made you, whatever the case might be. There's a million scenarios it could have created when it comes to you tapping into your true self and being proud of who you are, your authenticity. So as you heal these things, that cover starts to slip off even more and more and more and more. And then it'll get to a point when your soul is screaming through that bullhorn and you can hear it loud and clear because that cover block is no longer there. Your soul, I'm telling y'all, your soul, your spirit will get so much more disrespectfully loud. The more you continue to align with these parts of you that you've either put away, that's your true self, be out of embarrassment or out of worry about how others might perceive you. Remember, from a good place though. The more you are going to be unable to deny your soul and what it's telling you to do. Your higher self. We all have an oversoul, higher self. That's also a spirit guide. It's one of the premier guides out of your team that's always there from start to finish. So you see, it's really on you all around in the end. Where is he? We're closing in at 30 minutes or so. See? Good. I got my thoughts out. We're good on time. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to say or connect with or... Nah, y'all. I feel like I've said my piece and y'all can understand where I'm coming from when it comes to really going within Everything begins from within. Everything. Everything. Oh, I did want to finish this off and say this. Oh, two things. Sorry, I lost my train. I was going on and on about this bullhorn because I forgot where I wanted to get to. Is that you'll get to a point where you can't deny your soul that when you make I don't want to say wrong, but a decision that is against what your soul really wants, you'll feel it instantly. You might hear it instantly. You might get a thought instantly. Like, oh no, that's your intuition kicking in. That's your spirit team as well, your higher self. Once you are really aligned, y'all, and connected, there's no way you can escape not doing what's right for you. That makes you happy inside. This is where I'm finally leading to, that leads you to your true happiness. I want y'all to do this. Just go up to somebody and ask them, are you happy? Are you truly happy? Is every point in your life, everything within your life making you happy? It's a simple question. A simple question that's going to trigger a gazillion emotions within someone. You'd be surprised how many people are, even though they have the whole picture perfect, picture perfect scene, a picture perfect scenario, a picture perfect life. A lot of them are broken inside. And if you're one of those people, you can continue to tack on different things to try to cover it up, layer it up. It's not going to fulfill you at the end of the day. It's not. No amount of people, places, or things can fill that void. Only you can fill that void. And you fill it by what, y'all? Going within, taking a look in the mirror, and being honest with yourself. It's really what this life is all about, y'all, in these soul lessons here. Trust, even spiritually gifted people, they too have to go on this journey. Just because, don't get it twisted. Just because someone is spiritually gifted, they can see into future timelines, Akashic records, they can hear things, they can feel things, they can smell things, they have foresight, they can, all the things. Energy heal. Oh my God, don't get me started on that. I gotta make a separate episode for healers because you're killing me, y'all. You're killing me out here. The amount of healers that don't need to be healing right now. The whole other conversation. I'll make a separate episode for that. But even spiritually gifted people go through their own soul lessons. Just like the next person. And again, it depends on what their purpose is here with their spiritual gift. Whether you're a starseed, a light worker, a chosen one of the 144,000, all of that, you're still here to learn and elevate your spirit, your soul. While on your divine mission, fulfilling your divine mission. Okay? Okay, so I haven't done this in a while, I think, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull a card from my oracle deck and see what Yeshua, Patch, my spirit team, wants to share with y'all. And if you listen to my podcasts or have seen my videos in the past, you know they always pop out a card related to what I'm saying. So unless they have something else to say, I'm going to pull a message for them, okay? I'm trying to get around this wire right now. Spirituality is not about going to the stars. You can't get to the stars without being your own craft. That was very E.T. An E.T. message from the star ancestors. My spirit team. You cannot ascend without your soul being a vessel. You do not ascend by just knowing knowledge. You ascend by spiritual growth. Just the messages I'm being called. It's coming through. We are here to help you, but even humanity, but it is up to humanity to bring about this new earth. You all have a choice and free will. It is your decision, your choice to make. If you see Gaia in the new earth frequency, in the 5D. Yes. Gaia has elevated in consciousness, but it is up to humanity which direction this is going to go. And it's okay. It's coming back around that spirit guides, you know how, spirit guides, I was saying how spirit guides are only here to guide you. This is what also our cosmic brothers and sisters, the GFL and everyone else is here to do too. Help us, yes, make sure we're in the right path, but they can't do anything that's going to interfere with free will of this planet. They can guide. They're obviously more adapted and more savvy to inclined to knowing what can be shifted or changed without interfering with the timeline that is meant to be and the free will of this planet and its people. But it's really up to humanity to keep it going. Did y'all just see that pop out? Let me tell, I'm not touching nothing. But y'all just seen that card pop out? If you're listening, you guys. Before I was meditating on what to talk about on this podcast, and I immediately, Yeshua came in, and I started thinking about all the things I'm saying now. And I said, I'm going to use my oracle deck. And I was like, we gotta pull out that card when I do the ending, when I do my ending, and pull a card that I'm gonna start doing again. And I said, you gotta pop. I'm like, I was seeing, I'll show you the card in a minute. I was seeing this card in my mind's eye, like, to show people, like, this is what it is. Again, I'm just gonna shut up. Let me just show you the card. You ready? You saw it pop out, right? Fly out, right? And let me try to dip my camera down. Hold on. Hopefully I could get it back into the same freaking frame because I was having issues before. But if I put the camera back up and it looks janky, this is the reason, okay? But I want to show you. I didn't touch anything. You ready? And I'll show you the card right after. Just look. Saw that, right? You see where the card is? You ready to see the card? I can't make this shit up, you guys. And I wouldn't make this shit up because I wouldn't be on here talking shit about shit that I don't know about. Point blank, period. I don't talk about things that I am not knowledgeable in or share information which I'm not connected to. This is the card that represents Yeshua. You can see him right here on the card. Go watch my YouTube video if you are listening. On my YouTube, Zen Jen's Spirit School. All right, I guess let's wrap this up with a message from Yeshua, okay? He just loves you all very much. Okay, you guys, it's supposed to go to just 45 minutes. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up. The max I'll go is 50, all right? So that means you have a couple minutes left. I love you, Yeshua. Yeshua loves you all very much. He is always with you when you feel like there's no one around. No one's hearing you. No one's with you. No one understands you. He does. Love your sister. Love your brother. Love your neighbor. Love. Compassion. Unity. Unity is how we all will thrive. He is going to make himself known to many people, not in a miraculous kind of way. He wants y'all to know that everything that he has shared in his teachings are all concepts you are awakening to now. Not from the Bible, from your own inner knowing, from spirituality through your awakening. But he will be there, make himself known, if not physically, through signs, by feeling. We are all adding to the ascension of Gaia. By operating from our hearts. And not seeing each other on the outside. From the outside. Get to know someone that you've never spoken to, that you never thought you'd ever speak to. That's safe. It's like, but make sure it's safe. You just don't want to go to any random person that's not all there, because the connection might not be received. The more we understand each other, get to know each other in that way, understand each other's cultures, understand each other, why we are the way we are, have conversation instead of making judgment. Conversation. Okay. What we are seeing with these Epstein files is absolutely horrific. But this is the truth of all the darkness that was in this world, is in this world. But what you're seeing is big smile on his face as he says this, and going like this. That everyone will not stand for these acts of these crimes against children. That is unity. This is not about red, blue, what side you're on politically. Remove the politics. Remove the religion. This is about humanity coming together as one. Oof, last thing coming in. Uniting under the light. All right, y'all. I'll make a separate episode with him, but that's a combination of him plus myself as well. But these are all narratives that we've had, a lot of people are already feeling. So with that being said, you're on the right track. We got to keep that going, y'all. For humanity. For humanity. One last thing I'm going to say. It's coming from he's telling me something about my personal self. Final thing I'm going to go, because this is coming in at an hour, y'all. But Yeshua came, my dog, Yeshua, so not a problem. Patch is also here too. Everyone's always here with me, my entire team. They're all just hovering around listening like, last thing I'm going to say, and it has to do with this card, right? Clearly Yeshua's on it. Everything that you're going through or have went through in your life are also lessons, like I've mentioned for this entire episode, but the spiritual wisdom you have gained from these situations. It's immeasurable. So this is what comes with spiritual wisdom. You learn through experience. The next time a similar situation pops up, you know how to navigate it. You know what will make you feel whole. You know what will make you feel out of balance. You know what is not true to your soul. And this is why there's always a silver lining in every situation. So instead of looking at it in a victim mentality perspective, take it as a teaching moment. And use it as, in a video game, like those games, as you go through different levels, you can acquire different skills, right? You just keep on adding on, or whatever game you play. You know what I mean? You get more of ammunition. I don't say ammunition, but if you play, COD or whatever, or Fortnite, whatever. I don't play any of those games, but you know what I'm saying, right? You level up, you can get more bonuses, whatever, right? You get more of that. That's what's happening. As you go through as you gain spiritual wisdom, you're unlocking more of that divine energy within you. Whew, this one I knew it was going to go there, but y'all, you see, I don't make this shit up. And, you see it for yourself. If you're watching on YouTube, you're listening to if you're listening to what I'm saying, it really boils down to going within. So don't rely on your spirit guides for everything. Don't rely on something outside of you for answers. You got it all in here, inside of you. Everything. You know the words? I got a new one too. Flow with your soul. But of course, everything begins from within. All right? I'll catch you on the next episode. Love and light. Peace.